Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Amy Thornton. I'm a licensed acupuncturist with IPM, and today I wanted to go over some acupressure points that you can use to help manage your stress. Acupuncture points are based in Chinese medicine and they exist all over the body. They can be used in a variety of different ways, but today we're just going to focus on some that can be used for stress management. So the first thing to know is that when we're doing acupressure on ourselves, or we can use it on other people as well, is that we're stimulating a point, and we're stimulating a point for a purpose. So it's always helpful to remember what the purpose is. Like, okay, I'm going to calm my mind right now, or I'm going to help myself with stress. And when you're stimulating the points, you actually want to do some pressure because you actually want to feel something. You want to feel affect some change. I'm not just doing, where I'm not moving my skin, but I'm pressing in a little bit, but I'm not pressing in so hard that I'm grimacing, right? Not pressing in so deeply that I'm causing myself pain. Some of the points will be tender, and that's okay. And you might notice that as you rub them, the tenderness alleviates, and that's actually a good thing. But it doesn't mean if they're not tender that they're not helpful. When you stimulate them, I would say 10 seconds up to a minute. And the stimulation process could be rubbing. It could also just be holding. I'm more of a fan of just holding. And then just letting my body take in what it feels like to hold that point. And checking in with myself. What's happening for me right now? Nothing? Lots of things? Who knows, right? So I'm giving myself the time to slow down and just feel that. The points I'm going to show you today are easily accessible. You don't have to use all of them. I'm just giving you a bunch of different options. And just know that you can use your finger to stimulate the point. You can use a pencil. You could use chapstick. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could rub it up on something like your other body part, You could do it in a lot of ways as long as you're getting some kind of stimulation in there. The first point I want to show you is called Yin Tong, and this is a mind calming point, and it's right in between the eyebrows directly above the bridge of the nose. So you can go up the bridge of your nose and then come up right in between the eyebrows and feel, and it's going to be right in the center. So you want to push there a little bit, give us a little bit of pressure, and you should feel a little ridge of the bone underneath your finger. If you don't feel the ridge of that bone, don't worry, it's in there, but sometimes it can be hard to feel at first when you don't know what you're feeling. So eventually you could feel for that. But essentially, if you look in the mirror and you see your two eyebrow points here, and you go right in the middle above the bridge of the nose, and you press in there, this is a mind calming point called Yin Tong. And I would press this one for 20 seconds or longer and just see how does it feel. I like to close my eyes. It makes me want to close my eyes. It's like, oh, sleepy. Nice and mind calming point there. The next point that I like to use is actually on the ear. And so if you look in the ear, you can see you got all these little different ridges and bumps in there. And so we're looking for the one that's closer to the head, underneath this little arch. And so it's right in here. I'm just using the pencil so you can see where it is. But there's a mind calming point right in here. And so I would just take my finger and just press right into that groove. So we're not talking about the ear hole down here. We're talking about this groove up here. And just press on that point. And then nice deep breaths while you're pressing. Let your body relax into it. You can also massage your earlobe. So you can, put your thumb in the back there and then just rub your fingers across here. And, you can see I'm moving the flesh, right? But I'm not jamming, I'm not pinching. I'm doing something that feels kind of nice with this one. So just nice and soothing, nice calming, rubbing the earlobe. I like this for headaches also. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Nice and calming points in there and soothing for the mind. So you can do some relaxation that way. And then I like this point, heart 7. So it's on where the wrist flexes. So the wrist kind of flexes right in the middle there. You can see you've got lines on your wrist. And so it's right up on the pinky side. It's a pinky side. And it's not in the middle, right? There's the middle spot if you want to use that one, but to the side. And you should feel, if you push in a little bit, you should feel a tendon on the outside of your index finger, and you'd be in between. So again, we're looking for holes. And it's right where the wrist flexes. So you can kind of rub your finger up and go into that little area, and you can push right in there. There's a nice little spot. This should be pretty tender. You don't have to push very hard. There's not a lot of flesh there. So you're just going to do a little pressure. You can see that my skin's kind of indenting a little bit. And then you can just hold this spot. and this is heart 7, and this is another mind calming spot. And I also like to use large intestine 4. So large intestine 4 is probably one of the most well-known acupressure points. You often see it in magazines, and it's used for headaches and menstrual cramps, and it does work for those things often, but it also can be really good for stress. So I especially like to use this in combination with liver 3, which is a point on the foot I'm going to show you. But you can use either one by themselves. So what you're looking at, you got your fingers that come together as a V shape here, and then you want to find the bone that runs underneath your index finger. So you got your index finger, you're on the inside part of it here, and you're running down, and as you run down, you'll eventually kind of hit a little spot that you can't go any further, and it's actually just a little bit up from there. So you got your knuckle, you've got that spot where you can't go any further, and then you're going to go right in the middle, and you're going to press up against the bone. So a lot of times you see people doing this point like this, and that's okay. It's a big point. It's kind of in that general area, but really if you're going up against the bone, and you find that little sore spot, that's really where the point is. So right in the middle. So in order to find the point liver 3, we're going to look at our 2 toes here. And it's actually right in between them. So if you find this little guy where they come together here at a V, and you draw your finger up, it should kind of naturally come to a stop, and you would find a tender spot in there. Another way to find it is to look at the big toe here and find the biggest knob right under it. So you got your toe, you got your big knob, and then if you bring your finger up in between the toes and then just kind of look around in there, maybe like a couple centimeters up from there, that's where liver 3 is. And you can press on this point. And really, this one you have to press kind of firm because it's down in between the toes there. So this is a deeper point. So put some good pressure in there. And this one, you give it, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and then see, and you might end up wanting to hold it for longer than that. And again, you can do both sides with this point. All right, I hope you enjoyed learning those basic points and different ways to help calm your mind and soothe your stress. And remember, they're available to you at any time, and you just have to take your time with them and be with your body and just enjoy the benefits of using acupressure.